So now we go from that quality of the seeding, the expansion a little bit, and then into the self-expression. We go into the 4 quality. And the 4 quality represents that steadfast, strengthening characteristic. And it's building the root system in nature and in the growth of the plant. The 4 quality comes with the ideal and the expression to build a solid technical scientific foundation in life. Because if we don't have the facts, how can we do a springboard for growth and conclusion for any goal or any ideal we have? So we have to be practical and steadfast. And that is the strength of the 4 quality. They've got tremendous patience, but they have to know the detail. They're the people, if you're discussing something with them, you might as well be prepared for everything from A to Z. If you jump from A, B, C, D, and then you get up to H, I, J, K, they'll think, whoa, just a minute. What happened here? What happened in the 5th position? Because their factual nature needs proof as they listen to an idea or they explain. And if you're ever asking them about their health, they'll explain the parts of the body where they're sick usually or weak and how it functions, because they don't just say, oh, I've got a little cold. You know, it's in the sinus of my head and I've been doing this and I'm not feeling well, and as a result, this affected me in this area of my body. And you'll find that you'll get so much more detail rather than just straightforward, well, I'm not feeling well. They just are very practical that way. Their motto is always be prepared. They've got the safety kit in the car. They've got the extra maps. And they'll never start a route unless they know exactly where they're going. They're very, very thorough. So you'll come to appreciate the strengthening of the root system is like they're strengthening their lives, so they're always prepared. So it's a much more practical nature. Their health weaknesses, because it's relative to the very basic foundation, is relative to the stomach and the intestinal tract and all the allied problems there. The 5 quality you'll find when you look at the growth of the plant, you think, my goodness, there's just activity overnight. And so the 5 quality stands for new life. And you'll find that the 5 is always searching and looking. They're the analytical quality. They're looking for changes, variety, anything of interest in life. You can't hold them down. It stands for searching for truth. And you'll find that's why many youngsters with the 5 quality in their nature will be saying, why, Mommy? Why, Daddy? Why this? And after a while you think, here's a book. Find it for yourself, you know, because they're just so questioning. And it's a wonderful quality. But it can be very exhausting after a while because you realize that they never sit long enough to conclude something. And once it's disinterested to them, they just move on. You often think of the theme song of the 5 qualities, don't fence me in, don't restrict me, I want my freedom. And they're very active, very restless, constant. They're the ones that are sitting there, you know, if they're ready for someone, their hands are going in their pocket, their feet are going, the change is jingling. It's like, well, don't waste my time, let's move on, because time is what I want to use to accomplish something rather than being wasted. You'll find that an interesting quality of the 5 is that they can be trusting when they're younger, and so it creates a naivety. And as a result, they can be many times attracting disappointments with people because they become too trusting. And they're champions of the underdog. You know, you'll find if there's two people arguing or there's a fight over something and the smaller one is not being supported, he'll step in and support the smaller one regardless whether he's right or wrong, because it's the unfairness. And that's one of the unique qualities of the 5. Because of their overindulgence, it can affect their stomach and solar plexus. If you're a person strong in the 5s and you suddenly hit them right there, they would just knuckle over because they are so sensitive here. And this is where thought registers, is in our solar plexus. And the 5s being so in tune, intense and quick-minded, their solar plexus is like an antenna out there picking up thought vibrations. And they don't know how to protect themselves. So it creates the sensitivity, which often causes moods of intense depression because they feel so much, they get disappointments in life, and it creates a physical frustration. Now, the 6th quality is that of the bud in the plant, and it is the quality of the reason of life looking for stability, looking for settled conditions. And in mind, it's developing individuality of mind, responsibility of mind. And you'll find that they're the natural counselors. They have the natural sense of wanting to stabilize. You know, the 4 qualities looking, how does this work? The 5 says, why does it work? And the 6 says, where can I apply these principles so I can help people? And so you often find that the mothers and the fathers, and they often get involved in PTAs, community meetings, circumstances of the environment, because they're very homey oriented, and they're very aware of looking after their children and taking responsibility. And so they're very practical. They're very cheerful, they're very patient. It's the natural teachers and educators. And so you'll find that the 4-6 quality is just very stable and very even. And at that point in the bud, once the bud is there, it can't change. It's sort of ready in preparation for the next phase. So the 6 comes to say, okay, let's stabilize everything so we can use all this information in a practical way. But as a result, the 6 quality can sometimes take on too much, and then they become interfering and bossy. They want to tell you, you know, I think you should get rid of that man and you should settle your life with somebody else because I think this is the effect that's going to have in your life. And they have no qualms of telling you what they think. And yet you often don't mind because really they usually give very good advice. And I'm sure you know people that are very practical in that way, and they're very calm. If an accident happens, the 3 quality will be running all over the place looking for something, where the 6 just calmly says, well, what do we have to do here, what we have to do, and step by step goes through the process. It's a very practical, very even quality. But because so often the 6 quality worries too much, this is where they can run into mental problems. But when it's balanced, it creates an evenness between thought pattern, your experiences, and the harmony within your physical body.